Good evening, guys, and it's Thursday night, and welcome to another video. Uh, as you guys know, my name is Christian. Here at Holy Grounds Ministries, I'm just trying to bring you guys not just Christian content, but content that has a Christ center to it. Something that we could all, relate to, something that hits home, something that helps us out. Just any way I do possible. I really don't consider myself someone that has talents, so this is me trying to minister to people and try to share the gospel with them. One thing that I want to share with you guys tonight, it's kind of a big one for me, is the family business, anxiety and depression. It's real. Seems like it's a big topic these days that everybody's talking about it, but from a man's perspective, it works a little differently, and it shouldn't. Not to put my whole existence out there on the internet, but if you guys don't know, I was diagnosed 7 days after my birthday with leukemia. That was a huge thing for me. And when I found out that I was that I had leukemia, the first thing I said was to my parents, who were noticeably upset, obviously, don't worry, it'll buff out. And that was my motto, is that it would buff out. Because from a male's perspective, especially one that has, aspirations and wants a job and wants to work as many hours as possible and wants to be able to make money to provide for a family, I didn't really have time to be sick. I didn't have time to lay down. I didn't have time to cry. I didn't have time to be upset. But God made time to grieve. I was chained to this illness for 5+ years. Yesterday I had one of my final checkups, but I've been chained to this, and this brought to the forefront something that I've been dealing with for a long time, but never gave it the time of day, and never really tried to tackle it head on. I shoved it down, and that was the bipolar one. I was diagnosed with bipolar disorder just after I graduated college. The depression is very deep. It's very wild. It's the reason I don't own firearms. It's the reason that most of the time I'm not comfortable alone. And it's, along with that comes the anxiety that just belittles me as a man. Because I'm not supposed to feel those things. I'm not supposed to let something be too much for me. And I feel like the anxiety really sneaks up on me, and it really gets the best of me, and that's a no-go for guys. And that's really the forefront of the problem, I think. For most of us, we don't really digest our feelings. We don't digest the idea of our mental health. And that's because the people around us traditionally would rather see us suck it up than feel. They'd rather see us bury that and never talk about it than show any signs of weakness. Because as men, we are supposed to provide. We're supposed to be the rock of whatever household we're in. And we're not supposed to slip. But what we're seeing now in generations, as generations pass, and we're seeing, you know, it's not weak to try to take care of yourself. It's not weak to admit that you need a little help with some stuff. Um, we always used to say, oh well, Grandpa was just like that, or Dad's just like that. I know from my perspective, my grandpa and my dad, they dealt with a hell of a lot of trauma. Um, they dealt with tons of things that you would never talk about, things that you know they would never bring up even to their kids, because they don't want to have that hole in their armor, and they don't want to be seen as weak, because that's the way they've been conditioned. And all around me, uh, in my life, there are men like that, and it's not a knock on them. They're not bad. It's just how they're wired. You know, to open up about those things, to open up about trauma, to open up about uh, things that really bring you intense sorrow and intense anger, um, is just something most men aren't willing to do. They're not willing to open that Pandora's box for the most part. And I'm not saying that everyone does this, but us men, or I know I did, we feel like people will try to exploit the weakness that they find. We feel like if we share our problems, our mental illness, one, we're weak, and two, we're giving someone a foothold to try to take down our family or take down, our way of life. And that is how intricate and how analytical the enemy is, and how Satan works. He knows exactly what to do, and he knows that you are the rock of your family. He knows that you are what holds your clan together spiritually and emotionally and physically. And that if you fall, then the whole thing falls. Um, so, men, I just want to really encourage you guys, um, to be in the deepest, deepest parts of prayer, and really dig into Scripture, and really consider finding someone to talk to. It's different to talk than talking to your wife, or talking to a friend, or talking to somebody. You need someone that's completely unbiased and completely unrooted in the situation you've got going on. Because in order to manage your family successfully, brother, I'm sorry, you're going to have to communicate, and you're going to have to open up a little bit, and you're going to have to let your wife know that you love her, to let your kids know that you adore them, to adore Christ and adore Scripture, and show God love, and be able to communicate to people in your life, so you're not traumatizing them the way people traumatized you. I love you guys. If you have any suggestions, um, please drop a comment. As always, I'm here for you guys. If you guys ever need anybody, hit me up. I'm always willing to share my number. Uh, take time. Take time to really consider these words, um, because you have a family that's counting on you. And if you're if you're about to bust, then that's not good, man. And it's not weak, no matter what anybody has told you. It's not less than. It's not going to make you any less than a man. If anybody tells you that, they're, obviously projecting their feelings. So remember, there are resources out there for our local area. Locust Street really helps. Your local health departments obviously will have resources for you. Take 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 the help. I know it's hard, but you spend your entire life helping and providing for people, and most of the time not getting anything in return. Um, Reward yourself by adding some years to your life and adding some happiness and experience real joy, because it's not weak to be joyful, and it's not weak to actually be a happy man. So um, dig into the word, like and share this video around. But I love you guys, and it's not a knock on you guys, but it's time we start stepping up and as godly men start taking care of ourselves so that we can do the things that God calls us to do. Have a great night. Please do not mind the Big Deborah shirt. I put on a few pounds, so the clothing options aren't exactly stellar. So have a good night, guys. Love you. Bye.